Since 2017, the Italian Wine Podcast has exploded and expects to hit 6 million listens by the end of July 2023. We're celebrating this success by recognizing those who have shared the journey with us and giving them the opportunity to contribute to the ongoing success of the shows. By buying a paper copy of the Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0 or making a donation to help the ongoing running costs, members of the international Italian wine community will be given the chance to nominate future guests and even enter a prize draw to have lunch with Stevie Kim and Professor Attilio Scienza. To find out more, visit us at italianwinepodcast.com. Chin chin!
Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today we continue our special sub-series that highlights the winners of the prestigious 5-star Wines and Wines Without Walls competition that took place earlier this year. Just before Vinitaly, more than 2,200 wines were tasted by an international jury of wine professionals, Italian winemakers, sommeliers, journalists, and Italian wine ambassadors. We're celebrating today the wine producers whose wines achieved the highest scores and which won special awards. So I'm delighted to welcome my guest, Vania Pistolozzi of Milazzo Vini, who are located in Campobello di Licata in southeast Sicily. Milazzo Vini won the Wines Without Walls Award for the Best Organic Sweet Wine for its Terre Tardive 2017. Many congratulations, Vania, to you and to the whole team, and thank you very much for being my guest today. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you to you, Marc, for the invitation. We are really proud to be here with you and to have the possibility to tell you something more about our winery and the team and the type of viticulture that we had in mind from at least now, right now, quite more than 40 years of hard work here in Campobello di Licata.
Okay, Vania. Well, let's begin by, for our listeners, really taking us to Campobello di Licata. Explain where you are, where Campobello di Licata is, what the area is like. You're not far from Agrigento, the famous Valley of the Temples. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We are for quite 40 kilometers from Agrigento. Campobello di Licata is a small village in the hillside of Agrigento province. We are at an altitude of 400 meters. 20 kilometers from the seaside. We face the Mediterranean coast. So we are really in the south, very south of Sicily, facing Africa, facing especially Tunisian lands and Libya coast. And Campobello di Licata, we are the winery is based in the mid of Campobello di Licata and Ravanusa. Those small villages have really a long history. Even before the arriving of Greeks here in the area of Agrigento, so very millennial story. The thing that is really interesting is the fact that there is a very strong connection with history of viticulture here in Sicily.
Wow.
You have to know that the province of Agrigento have been created from the Greeks and is one of the symbolic cities of the Greek expansion and the creation of what was called Magna Graecia. The poet Pindar called it the most beautiful city of mortar. And Agrigento and the Temple Valley count 6 temples and that are still visitable even right now. And what is special is that we have testified in the historical writing that there is an extraordinary valuable reminder of how profound legacy these lands carry related to the culture of Vienna cultivation. For example, Diodorus Siculus states that there were vineyards of exceptional size and beauty, and most of the land was covered with olive trees, and the abundant production of which was destined to the Carthaginian trade. And the Greek especially defined this area to the most valuable production of wine. So this really a strong and incredible heritage that we have in these areas.
We're going back 2,500 years, Vania.
Yeah.
It's an incredible history of continuous viticulture over that time. I'm imagining you at 400 meters, so that's quite high. Is that position helping to keep things a little cooler in this very hot summer?
Yeah, we have the perfect climatic characteristic of hillside. So we normally benefit of the influence of the typical Mediterranean climate. This means with mild summers and not rigid winters, and a constant light breeze that favor the day-night temperature range and a very good aeration in the plant. This is a very incredible key point, even if we can say that especially in the last 15 years, we have verified the modification of climate and how the climate changes have an impact even in this incredible corner of Sicily.
Yes, yes. Now, Vanya, Wine Without Walls is a section of five-star wines dedicated to wines produced organically, biodynamically, or by low intervention and natural methods. Milazzo is one of the pioneers in organic and sustainable viticulture in Sicily. Tell us a little bit about the way you farm and why that has always been important to Milazzo Vini.
I can say that organic viticulture is really a commitment that has born with the winery. We have always been organic from the mid of 70s, which is the birth of the winery, and with a more scientific approach from the mid of 80s. So what we can say about our idea of organic viticulture is really quite a culture of being organic. What we have acquired in terms of knowledge during the years is the idea that we have to protect the environment to create best condition where the vineyards can grow in harmony with nature. But we also have to invest in terms of agronomic research, in terms of technology in the cellar to protect what we produce in the vineyards and to guarantee that the fruit, the grape, still can be vinificated with most simple rules but very careful rules to exalt the organoleptic patrimony that we are able to give life in the vineyards.
So it's really that care in the vineyard being carried over into the cellar to really try to express as much of these native grape varieties as you can. You were explaining to me, Vanya, that the estate is actually located over 8 contrade, and you've got a lot of different crews within that. So it's a very complex area where the soil, the microclimates change from one area to the other, different altitudes. And this means that you can produce a full range of wines from sparkling, white, rosato, and red. And also that your harvest time is really quite extensive, sometimes from the end of July extending to the middle of October.
Yeah, complexity is part of our DNA. this is really a special place. The name of the winery is Azienda Agricola Milazzo Terre della Baronia. And Terre della Baronia is the name of the terroir, of the ensemble of the vineyards. And you're right, we have 6 contrades, 6 main areas in a 5-kilometer square around the cellar. So everything is very concentrated. What is incredible is the fact that we have incredible different set of soils available in the vineyards. We have an enormous pedological variability. We move from the slope to the sand where we find white, lunar, like calcareous soils, to clay, limestone soils with the presence of draining skeleton. And we have also black, clay, organic, deep coal soils. This is due to the fact that part of the estate is positioned in a wide compluvial basins that is the result of the course of an ancient river that created it. And this has created a very special place. We have 2 banks, 2 hillsides that are facing each other, where we have the white soils. And in the middle, we have the very black soils. This is the reason why we have decided along the year that it was absolutely necessary to introduce a systematic study to identify the specific characteristics in each plot. And thus as also support to be able to understand which varieties, which biotypes and rock stocks was the best to be planted in each plot. So now we have 6 contrada, different sub-area, and in all sub-area we have identified at right now 50 different crew. And each crew is quite a small world, a small universe that is managed with some specificity from the beginning, from his birth up to the moment of the harvest, and also the care all along the year are defined specifically to have the care to identify the microclimate, the exposition, and everything. Nothing is left to the hazard. Everything is analyzed in order to obtain the best fruit available in this plot.
Italian Wine Podcast. If you think you love wine as much as we do, then give us a like and a follow anywhere you get your pods.
That's incredible that within that small area, you have identified 50 specific micro crews, which are tended separately and vinified separately. I'm imagining some micro vinifications really following through that wine from growing the grapes to creating the wine and finally making your final cuvées. What are the main grape varieties that you cultivate?
Oh, we started with a focus at the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s, with rediscovery and of the most ancient Sicilian variety, the Inzolia specifically, and followed by 2 biotype of Catarratto, the Catarratto, simple Catarratto and the Catarratto extra lucido. And then for what concern the red varieties, the Nero d'Avola and the valorization of 2 different Sicilian varieties. One is called Perricone and Nerello Cappuccio. But we also planted from the early beginning the Chardonnay, the most well-known international white variety, with a specific and a dream. At the really beginning was really a dream to create traditional sparking method in Sicily. We have been one of the first to believe that it was possible to create high quality sparkling wine here in Sicily. And the Chardonnay is the heart of our sparkling wines.
And that's the grapes that you're beginning to harvest now already.
Yeah, we're just beginning with the special selection, specifically devoted to the creation of the traditional sparkling method. We produce 7 different label sparkling method. We have 2 pas d'osé, we have a millésime, we produce a beautiful Grand Cuvée, we have Reserva, and we have 2 rosé sparkling wine. We consider ourselves, I can say, 3 wineries in one. We are a sparkle producer, we are white wines creator, and we consider ourselves also interpreter of red wines, especially interpreter of the Nero d'Avola, which is the most well-known red.
Vanya, I'd like to turn our attention now to the award-winning wine, to the Terre Tardive. Explain this wine, how it's made, and why it's so special, why it impressed the judges who gave it the absolute top scores for a sweet wine in the Wines Without Walls competition.
In the past, we produced a natural sweet wine that was called Oro di Casa Milazzo. At a certain moment, we have stopped the production and we take a moment to wondering about what idea of natural sweet wine we would like to share with our clients and wine lovers. One of the key elements of our wine is the research of elegance and to exalt the specific freshness and beautiful acidity and sort of sapidity that are the main characteristic of our white variety. So the idea in the Terre Tardive, the name is quite evocative because Terre is coming from Terre della Baronia. So is in the meantime to exalt through this wine the main characteristic of our terroir and to demonstrate how we can interpret her in a very different way one of our iconic blend, which is the Inzolia Chardonnay, which is our signature blend. You have to know, Mark, that Inzolia Chardonnay is born in Italy, in Sicily, in 1991 with Maria Costanza white wine. It was the first time that a Sicilian white wine was created starting from this blend. So the idea that is in Terre Tardive is to reveal a new interpretation. So we use an aromatic Chardonnay and Inzolia, and to maintain the freshness, we approached the tilling of the bunch was carried out on both varieties. The shots were cut to reach, thanks to the partial dehydration, a concentration of sugar and to interrupt the ripening at the same time. These techniques also allowed us to preserve the particularly delicate aromatic component, thus ensuring a fine and elegant olfactory profile and extraordinary drinkability. In this sense, we used to say that Terre Tardive is our unconventional, intriguing, and sophisticated sweet wine.
It sounds exquisite, really expressing in this sweet expression these 2 grapes, Chardonnay blended with Inzolia, a native white grape from Sicily. What time of day would you have the Terre Tardive? Would you have this as an after dinner drink? Would you have this in the afternoon with biscotti or cakes? What foods would you enjoy with Terre Tardive?
Oh, the fact that we find intriguing and unconventional is due to the fact that this wine is very transversal. So you can even open your dinner with Terre Tardive. We have tested, for example, with some cheese and even with foie gras, and is can be paired also with some first dishes when you have some very sour seasoned cheese. And I believe that at the end, the best interpretation should be with cakes, biscuits, not too much sweet dishes in order to exalt this sweetness and freshness that are the two main components of this wine.
It sounds absolutely exquisite. I'm imagining another way is perhaps simply sitting out with a small glass of Terre Tardive as the sun's setting, perhaps overlooking the sea, if you can see the sea from where you are.
No, we don't see the sea, but we have a beautiful green nature that explode around the winery. So could be a beautiful way to appreciate the Terre Tardive.
Okay. Now, Vanya, I always ask because I know many of our listeners like to visit the people, the wineries we talk to. I know you don't actually have open wine facilities for people to just drop in, but should wine lovers or groups of wine lovers, small groups, wish to visit, is that possible?
Okay, yeah, you're right. For the moment, we are not open with touristic services. The winery in the last year has been involved in important infrastructure investment to improve our sustainability. So now we have a photovoltaic system that guarantee 100% of energy for the cellars, and we have improved also the recycling system for the water we use in the cells. But we have decided to make an effort in order to share with wine lovers who we are, our philosophy, our idea of viticulture, our idea of sustainable company here in the south of Sicily. So during the year, we set up a calendar when it's possible to guest small group at maximum 6 people and to give them the possibility to visit the vineyards, to visit the winery and have a live tasting. This is really our pleasure. The only rules that you have is to kindly ask to the wine lover to write us so they can verify if there is any availability, and we try to organize a date, and so they have to call us maybe 1 month before, so we can give them a calendar and some option to try to come here and visit the winery.
Okay, that's very helpful. And wine lovers are generally quite resourceful and like to plan ahead. So I'm sure that could work well. Simply to contact Milazzo Vini in advance if you're going to be in the area, perhaps visiting the really beautiful and awe-inspiring Valley of the Temples at Agrigento, and then to have perhaps arrange a visit to Milazzo Vini. Vania, thank you so much for being my guest today to explaining where you are in Campobello di Licata, southeast Sicily, the philosophies of organic and sustainable viticulture at Milazzo Vini, and also this very special wine, Terre Tardive, for which Milazzo Vini won the Best Organic Sweet Wine Award in the Wines Without Walls competition. I hope the harvest goes well for you and everything continues well through the summer. So thank you very much and hope to see you sometime in the future.
Oh, thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for guesting us, to give us the possibility to tell something about the winery and our work. And we will wait for you here in the winery to show who we are and our idea of viticulture, and the fantastic team and colleagues that every day are passionate and very involved in the idea of winery that we have in mind. And let me say a special thanks to the property of the winery, Giuseppina Milazzo, Saverio Lo Leggio, her husband, and Giuseppe Lo Leggio, their son. They are fully involved in the winery, and they are our inspiration in what we do every day to take care of the Milazzo heritage and what we would like to represent in the future. Thank you again.
Well, thank you, and I do hope to visit you sometime soon in the future. Grazie e a presto.
Grazie, a presto a voi.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe right here or wherever you get your pods. Likewise, you can visit us at ItalianWinePodcast.com. Until next time, chin chin.